Oh, yay! Did you do something magical, Ashley? Thank you.
I did. I started the meeting.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. That'll work.
That
Okay.
sometimes helps.
All right. Starting the
Yeah.
meeting helps. Well, welcome all. Let's get going. We thank you for, I don't know if you heard me muttering before, maybe you didn't, but this is a new format we're trying for our meetings. It's a webinar format, so there is a Q&A section as well as a chat. We'd love any and all feedback on how this works. So just FYI. So let's get started with our February meeting. Just a reminder that we like to approach all of our meetings with the 4 pillars of remembering to keep in mind a sense of professionalism, teamwork, assuming positive intent, and fostering community whenever and wherever we can. So with that, I'll pass it over to you, Ashley.
Okay. I sent out January's meeting minutes yesterday afternoon, I think, or morning. I'm not actually sure. And so I didn't receive any revisions. So I need someone to make a motion to approve and then someone to second that.
I move that we approve January's minutes.
And I second, Ashley.
Thank you. Okay. All in favor of approving the minutes as they were sent, please raise your hand electronically. Wonderful. Okay, you can lower your hands. Thank you so much. Are any opposed? Okay, I'm just going to give a minute. And does anyone abstain? All right, the minutes were approved and we can move on with our meeting. Thank you very much.
Excellent, thank you. Well, first of all, I believe Bryant is not here today. I think he is enjoying a lovely vacation, so we don't have any specific UUSC updates, except that I would say this. I think you all should have seen an email that came out from HR last week. Oh no, Jason. But UUSC is going to be sending out a survey to all uh, public universities in Utah, to students, faculty, and staff. And the survey will be asking for information about it's a climate survey, a campus climate survey, really as it comes to um, folks' abilities to express opinions on campus, be they students, be they faculty, or be they staff. So please note that is going to be sent out. An email is going to be coming, I believe, from, can't remember if it's coming from UUSC. We did talk about this at UUSC. And if you respond very quickly upon receipt of the survey, your name can be added to a drawing for a gift card. Just saying. Respond early and often in order to increase your chances. No, just kidding. Really, just if you could fill it out, that would be fantastic. So that was a highlight there. Board of Trustees update was very brief this past month. I expect it to be brief again next week. Basically, what's going on is the board and the administration at the U is working on finalizing updates to the 5-year plan and the strategic plan, which is known as Impact 2030. And a piece of that is as well the launch of a 10-year physical development plan. So those two things are going hand in hand. I know the board is having a number of meetings with various stakeholders on that. but I believe both should be updated sometime in March. So that's what's going on at the trustee level. Also, if you may have noticed my background, starting really around Founders Day, we're going to be celebrating the university's 175th anniversary. And although they are not there now, they're, I believe by this Friday, if you go to brand.utah.edu, there will be an assortment of Zoom backgrounds. There already is there today. If you look under campaign details, you'll see logos. There's information on how to use them, and you'll start seeing these call outs all over campus as we start celebrating the university. And this landmark occasion. Let's see what else. And then Academic Senate. Academic Senate met at the beginning of this week. The long and short of it was that both the president and Jason Perry gave updates on the legislature and things that are still in motion. And accordingly, I know I've been working with the comms team in case anyone hasn't seen it yet. We've started a webpage at utah.edu/federal-transition. And there is some information there about research grants. There's some information about immigration. And that is going to be continually updated, and we're likely going to be building out a larger standalone website where people can get information about updates to both state regulations as well as federal regulations and what impact that is having on our campus community. So, any questions? Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Anne, for putting the URL in the chat. So no, it's a beginning work in progress, and there will be, I expect, something more robust in the next couple weeks. Okay, cool. Well, then let me pass things off to David.
Hi, everybody. One of the responsibilities of the past president is to update the bylaws every year, make sure everything's clean and updated and any necessary changes are made, as well as taking into account any suggestions for changes that might come from the council. So we already made some substantive changes earlier this year and incorporated those and voted on those. But if you have any suggestions for changes to the bylaws, if you could get those to me in the next month, probably next 3 weeks, I'm going to be going through and just looking for kind of editing type things, grammatical things, making sure all the numbers align, things like that. So this would be the time to suggest any of those changes if you'd like anything included. So.
Excellent. Thank you so much. All right. Well, let us move on to committee updates. Susan, what's happening with development?
Well, not much further to report yet. We are struggling to, herd the cats of, the advancement office and ours. And I didn't win an award, but I mean, they just called me out at U Career Success because I had 107 student appointments last month, which was almost 50% more than the next highest number. I am just like, it's mostly me not being flexible and available. I'm booking students in April at this point. So I apologize. I told them we tried a couple of dates. Those got canceled. We're still trying very hard to move forward. And I said, if you need to go without me, then you just have to go without me because
And what's the latest update with the faculty club scholarship application? Is that
My life right now, there is no update there. We're looking, we're doing all the work. I'm behind in getting to Anne what she needs. She needs just created, updated, and she past due on this as well. The blurb, we're trying to get some good numbers for our digest submission, and that's been proving more difficult than I would have suspected it would be. But I just think, including qualifiers. So we're going to take a look at it tonight and see if we can pull something together. And I'm going to give something to Anne this evening on that. The money is funded from faculty club. So we have the money, we possess it. So now we just really need to get the back office stuff all done so that somebody could actually announce that that the submission is available to apply. And again, it won't be given out until fall of 2025 at the earliest. And the meeting with advancement is primarily about getting a good list going that is authorized by them for PDA, so Professional Development Awards, contributions as we move forward in the year.
got it? Any questions for Susan? All right. Is Melissa on the call? Or has Melissa stepped out? Or Stephanie? Is there anyone here from the events committee? All right, there will be no events. Noted. Thank you. All right, moving along. Let's see. There was one note here that there is just a reminder that there is a link that I guess there is a discount for any upcoming gymnastics meet, staff discount. So we'll put that in the chat just as a reminder as well. But while I do that, yeah.
I'm so sorry. Sorry. Hi. I am on the events committee. Sorry, I just got off a call separately, so I couldn't chime in. But we have our blood drive coming up that I believe, Kendall, we got the flyer approved by Anne earlier today. And the date, sorry,
April
I'm working.
2nd.
April 2nd, yes. So that's kind of what we have, I think, happening right now. And then we're also trying to secure some cool new stuff for our end of year celebration as well.
Excellent.
I think that's all that we have.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Any questions? All right.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. Kristen, what's going on at the with the legislature?
Just been pretty chill lately, not a lot going on. But just kidding. There's been a lot going on. The HB 265 is the public sector labor union amendments bill. It is in, they have put out a fourth substitution to that, which I was looking to get clarification earlier from a group, but it doesn't look like it's any better. But right now it doesn't seem to affect staff council since we're not doing any collective bargaining. But it is something people are probably really interested in because it can affect firefighters, teachers, spouse, friends. But yeah, the other one is HB 265. That's the higher education strategic reinvestment bill. It passed the House. That's the one where institutions have to create the strategic reinvestment plan, or they take 10% of their budget and have to reallocate it. That bill requires the Utah Board of Higher Education to establish guidelines of how that money can be reinvested. So there are fears that the focus on reallocating based on workforce demands and higher paying jobs, that it will affect programs that are essential for, to be well-rounded, that it may not be a higher paying job, but it's, so it's how do you gauge that return on investment that they're looking for? They want dollar signs, but yeah, so that's the concern there, but something to look out for. There are, of course, a lot of others. If you go to le.utah.gov, right under the calendar, you can click Find Your Legislator. You can find your representatives there and how to contact them for your state legislators. There's a calendar of what's going on. You just click on it, and when it's in session, you can watch it live. You can click follow along, and it will show you everything that they're looking on during that session. It's really interesting to watch. You can even go back and watch things like the public comments, which is really, watching those can be frustrating, but it also, you get to hear what really good things people are saying, and it can renew your, what's the word, like renew your trust in people, or,
Yeah.
like society is not all. So, but that's, and then of course, state things. I was also going to share the thing that you did early, the federal transition page, pointing out also the immigration information on there. What to do if you do see ICE. There were some reports of ICE being on campus near the Williams building yesterday, if you saw that, but they weren't there. So it seems to be a misunderstanding. So there haven't, yeah. So if you did hear that, it doesn't seem to be the case. On that federal transition page, it does talk about how the University of Utah Police do not have, expect to be, have any partnership with ICE for any of that. So yeah, and also make sure to, for any mental health resources, I can put a link in here, but since this is such a wild time, so the end.
Thank you, Krista. And that's a really good point. And I just also want to thank you for using the Teams channel when things have been live on happening at the Hill. I really appreciate you sort of calling out, hey, President Randall's speaking right now. That's really cool. And yeah, Keith Squires spoke at Academic Senate on Monday, and he did say, at least as of 2 days ago, the university police hadn't been asked to be involved, weren't going to be involved, but he made the caveat that, they could be asked. And Jason, I don't know if you have any updates or anything to add from a public safety standpoint.
Excuse me. I'm recovering from a flu at home, so if I
Oh,
sound,
no.
yeah. So we have never been asked before in the past. We're not anticipating that's likely to happen. The CSO has been in contact with ICE, and foreseeably there isn't really any design or plan to come to campus. That doesn't mean it can't happen, but it's probably not very likely. We don't have it in our policy or our practices to actively engage in immigration enforcement. We don't do that. And if ICE did come to campus, federal law prohibits us interfering in any way. So I think the most of what we would get is maybe a notification that ICE was going to be on campus. But we would likely not do anything to assist in any active immigration type enforcement. So I know it's scary We've all been seeing what's happening on the news. It is strange times we're in, but I think by and large, we're not going to have too much of that type of activity on campus, if any. And then the incident that was described about ICE on campus yesterday.
Thank you.
That was simply our canines training. I saw the video. It was posted on social media. There were no ICE on campus, so if you hear that is not accurate. And I think we can do some things to clarify when you see cars parked like that, and they're just doing training. We can probably put out some signage that's clarification for the public, but there was no ICE on campus yesterday.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions anyone has for Krista or Jason, for that matter?
I've got
Okay.
one, Marie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
One thing I just wanted to add to what Krista was saying. I did get to listen into the higher education appropriations subcommittee when President Randall presented on the base budget, and I think it was actually very positive, not just from President Randall, but from the legislators on that committee. The things that they had to say about what the U is doing for the state and at large, I think were overall very positive. And I came away feeling a lot more positive about the whole situation. So we all need like good news right now. And to me, that was good news. The other thing with the House bills, I did want to make sure people were aware of House Bill 133, which is, Jason, I don't know if you wanted to talk any about that, but just to make sure everybody is aware of that particular one.
Sure. We thought this was going to happen, and this is something that we've been watching. But House Bill 133 does quite a bit of work on the dangerous weapons section of state code. And most specifically, what it does is it specifically delineates that unless there is state law or federal law that prohibits the open carrying of a firearm anywhere in the state of Utah, then it's permissible. And the way it reads, that includes college campuses. So the bill in its current form, unless anything changes, unless anything comes up in another state law, it appears that open carry would be allowed on campus for anyone aged 18 or older. So we're concerned about that. I mean, that it doesn't make very much sense. We've talked about it with the CSO and internally with the police department. So we're watching that one closely. I know Jason Perry's on that one, and so is Robert Payne. So it'll be an interesting bill to watch to see what happens with that. If it passes as is, I don't think there's any reason to panic. It just means that, at least on the public safety side of things, we're going to have to do a lot of adjusting and some education with the community. Because if it passes as is, the law is the law, and there may not be too much we can do about that. So that's one to watch. It's a very extensive bill. It took a while to get to the sections that specifically indicate the portions that I just told you about. So we'll see where that one heads. But there's a lot of head scratching going on our side of the things in terms of law enforcement, because it just doesn't seem, and I don't want to get too political, but I don't understand what needs it's addressing. So that's about all I've got on that one.
And Sarah, I saw you had your hand raised. Did you have a question or want to say
I
something?
did at first. I did at first, but then I realized I was thinking like, what is different? Because I just did my firearms training this morning in Bridge, and I was like, but it's the open carrying aspect that is different. So I just had to think that through. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's the interesting piece, is because in the language it specifically says, and it doesn't say this currently, but unless it's prohibited by state or federal law, in terms of restricting on where you can carry it anywhere. So I think the ones that are still in place are a K through 12 school and houses of worship, and then certain areas like jails and airports. But it really seems to open up the gambit to anytime, anywhere. So,
And
yeah.
Jason, doesn't it also aim to permit concealed carry without a concealed carry permit?
That already exists.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah, that is already in place. The thing this changes is it specifically crossed out institutions of higher education as a school per definition for where you can and can't carry firearm, and then specifically delineated unless there's statute that prohibits you carrying a firearm in whatever designated area, then it's permissible openly carried. So, and then it extends that open carrying down to the age of 18, which, as we all know, some high school students are 18. It just doesn't make any rational sense. I'll say that much. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out by the end of the legislative session.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. Before we keep going, it is nigh on 2:30, and I believe Lisa is here. So maybe let's just put a pause in these updates. And Lisa, welcome back to your home away from home.
Right? Hi, everyone. It does. It feels like home. I come and I lurk at this meeting sometimes too, so I stay up to date, but yes. Okay, so let me just jump right in. And I think I have the ability to share. Yep. Okay. Well, I'm here in the capacity of the UUSC president. And really, I'm here to just kind of introduce you to UUSC and what we're up to. You know, the bit about the legislature, that's a lot of what we're talking about at the UUSC level too. So this kind of fits right in with what you've been discussing. But just the basics. Oh, my reminders are popping up. Yay. So UUSC is the Utah Higher Education Staff Association. And I'm just going to give you a little overview of what it is, what we do, and hopefully give you a little bit of insight into what we're working on. So UUSC is a group of staff association representatives from several higher education institutions in Utah. And I'm going to use the term staff association. We call it a staff council here at the University of Utah. But the associations are supposed to be a means of communication between staff at all higher institutions and UUSC. So there's actually, where did we come from? UUSC created staff associations, and there's actually a policy that says each institution will have a staff association or advisory committee. So that's where our council comes from. And then UUSC is the statewide organization of delegates from each staff association. So in plain terms, it is a group of your colleagues from institutions all over the state of Utah. And we get together and we communicate. We tell each other what's going on, and we keep each other up to date on some of the trends and things we're seeing at our institutions. We send up flares if one of us is seeing something unusual. We try to help each other with unusual issues that we're facing, or give each other advice on things that we might be able to help with in regards to serving on staff associations. And, every staff member at a UUSC institution is considered the general membership of UUSC, but the board itself is made up of the delegates sent by each association. So that's usually the president and a few other folks. So what do we do? Well, a lot of things. We try to set goals. We have regular meetings, and like I said, we discuss things with each other, including initiatives that we'd like to pursue, usually focused on professional development opportunities. We work on ways to connect with each other a little more efficiently. And then, really one of the main goals we have is to empower higher education staff through offering different resources, through networking, and through training opportunities when we can. Right now, literally, we're just consumed with the legislative session, and there's a lot of buzz right now, and I'm getting an email a week from UUSC, and we're sending, hey, we're watching this and we're concerned, and what does this mean? And so things are popping at that level right now. We're also working on some professional development opportunities, and what I'm doing here is part of our Connections Tour. So we are trying to get the word out about UUSC, what it is, and see if we can strengthen those connections between institutions. One of the other things we're really working on is UUSC's infrastructure specifically. So for those of you who served with me, I go after the internal documents of an organization and I try to bolster those up. So UUSC didn't have a whole lot in terms of manuals and procedures and processes to help UUSC members actually do their jobs. So we're working on that. So how can you help us? Well, if you have events going on that can be advertised statewide or that are virtual and open to the public, let UUSC know, and we'll give you a boost where we can. We'll spread those around to the other institutions. Follow us on social media. We're on Instagram right now, but we also have a website, and the website was largely created by your very own Marie Winters. So it's wonderful. And a vast improvement, I will say, from what we used to have. So, but yeah, check out our website. Our meetings are public too, if you ever want to join one of those. If you have topics for webinars you'd like us to try and go after, let us know. But also let us know what's on your mind. So talk to Marie if you have something that you'd like considered at the state level, and we'll talk about it and see what we can do. So here's the plug about our socials. Oh, LinkedIn. Yeah, we're on LinkedIn too. And if you'd like to follow us there, we are working on a listserv to also get everyone connected that way as well. So we'll let everyone know when we get to that point, and you can follow us in the meantime. Instagram is chugging along a little bit. We're kind of in the early stages of getting that rolling and getting it organized, but the big one is LinkedIn, and the website is great too. So, all right. Well, that's all I have. Anything? I'm happy to stay and answer questions if anyone has any.
I just wanted to make just a comment and thank you, Lisa, and it's so good to see you here. I think too, one of the many incredible things Lisa's done this year is really reconnecting UUSC back with UUSC. That was a real missing link, and the fact that we had someone from UUSC speak at our last meeting to talk about, for example, this climate survey that's going out is a real win. Just making these reconnections that had sort of fallen to the wayside. So,
yeah. Well, I wish I could say it was easy, but it's taken us a little bit of time to get something going. And, our primary contact at UUSC has shifted multiple times. I mean, it's it's tumultuous times in higher education. So we're trying to keep that rolling. And I think, one of the things that's been great is if I've got anybody at UUSC who's responding to me, I hit them with everything I've got, and then they forward it to the necessary places. So it's been interesting because I'm getting stuff from 2 or 3 people at UUSC now. So it's, it's a process. But I think watching them actually take our feedback in real time to, with the legislative session has been really, well, it's never really happened before. So I think it's great. And so that's what we're trying to do for you right now. And, I will say this too. And of course I'm biased, but the University of Utah is uniquely and strategically placed, I mean, both geographically, but also just as, the flagship university of the university system in Utah, to be the voice of higher education staff in Utah. And UUSC is holding on to that and is really making good use of it this year and leaning into it. So I wanted to thank Krista and David because they are our government relations officers on UUSC right now and are doing great work to help everybody stay in contact. The University of Utah is big. We have a lot of budget. We have a lot of resources, but not all the institutions in Utah do. Some of the folks at Snow College are really worried right now. Some of the folks at Weber are really worried right now. Some of the folks at Slick are really worried right now. So, it's been awesome to be able to leverage the communication that the University of Utah has with the legislature to kind of help reassure them in the ways we can. So, thank you.
Any questions for Lisa? I would also say if you're interested and you go to uusc.org, we do, like Staff Council, post videos of our meetings. So if you're interested, you should be able to see the history of our meetings there as well. All right. Any final questions, thoughts, feelings? All right, let's get another update in before we take a well-earned break. Anne, what is happening with comms?
Nothing, we're just bored as usual, but we are, yeah, just kidding. We are busy. We are, thank you so much. We're getting our staff council digest going. Just want to make out a wider call to anyone that would like to submit something to our newsletter that will go out the end of this month. Try to get it to me by, 15th, 18th would be amazing. Lots of heavy stuff happening right now, but anything we can do to communicate, to connect, anything that would be helpful as far as a resource, even doesn't have to be an event that people can get connected to, something that you're aware of that maybe others aren't that could be helpful, please send those my way. Would love to get those included. And you'll notice on our main page that we now have an updated link so that we can register for these meetings as opposed to how we were doing it before. So that'll be updated every month. And then, yeah, that's about it from us. Anything else I missed, Marie?
I just have to make my continual pitch that 2:15, the application for the new membership at Staff Council will open. Also, just to let folks who are alternates this year, just so you know, you will be automatically made members in the new year. You don't need to do anything about that. Yeah. So just some things, and I'm going to make a plug as well right now, just for Bryant. Looking forward to getting nominations as we start to go into our election season. First with executive board, followed by chairs and chair-elects as need be in April. So feel free to ask if you want to know more. Okay, it is, let's see, how about new staff connections? Any updates, David?
Just that we have now gone for 4 months of sending out the first month email to new staff. Acceptance or reception rates of that and people who are clicking on that and opening that email continues to be very good. The February one just went out on Monday, and Emily will be taking over kind of the sending of that, but we'll continue to do that. And then the next thing, Maria and I need to talk at some point because I don't know if the 3-month email went out, so we'll need to double check on that. But that is happening.
Everyone
ABD,
relaxing? Good.
we're talking with auxiliary business development about ways that we might be able to potentially leverage some of the perks that we're doing to get some additional funds coming in to help with scholarships and stuff. So we'll keep you updated on that.
Awesome. Excellent. All right. Well, I see it's almost, well, let's just see if we can wrap this up. Ray, what's going on with the ABC committee? And then I think we'll take a small break.
ABC's just got meetings. So look forward to our accessibility and awareness chats in the next couple months of general meeting, and Earth Month's coming up, and Pride Week is coming up here in March, I believe. So just look out for those. That's all I got.
Excellent. Any questions for Ray? All right. Well then, why don't we take well, before we take a brief break, I got a message from Whitney. Whitney, do you want to give your update and then we'll take our break? Or Whitney might not be on the call. Why don't we take a quick 5-minute bio break and hop back on at 2:50? Please turn your cameras off and don't do any work. We'll see you shortly. All right. It is 2:50. I hope you enjoyed your luxurious 5-minute break. Got to travel, read a book or something. Okay, so as we gather back, next we will jump into our liaison updates. Let's see. I see that Kara from Sustainability doesn't have any updates. Um, Kim Barnett, is she on the call? Or do we have any updates from public safety that we haven't already discussed? Hmm. Uh, Anything, Jason, that you would want to speak on behalf of public safety?
I don't have any
Okay.
new dates that Kim wouldn't have. I think she probably
Okay.
speaks at the conference that's coming up.
Excellent. 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 Thank you. Let's see. Andrea Brown, is she on the call? Nope, no Andrea Brown. Okay. Let's see. Amanda Garcia or Byron Garrettson from Hospital HR. Ashley, I'm looking at you. Are either of them on the call? Amanda Garcia or Byron? Nope. Okay, cool. What about Bree Murphy and updates on childcare?
Sorry, I keep turning off my camera and turning on my
Oh,
mic.
hello.
I do not have a lot of updates. In fact, I don't really have any updates.
Okay.
All
All right
just
then.
plugging along.
Excellent. We like plugging along. Thank you.
Yep.
Aaron Sullivan, any updates from OEO?
I kind of updated the exec committee last time, but
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to I'll try to keep it kind of high level and positive as I can, but just some recent transitions administratively, and we're still working through and trying to make sense of all of it, but I'm sure you've heard that the executive order that had been in place since the 1960s was revoked, the one that ensured equal opportunity. So we're trying to make sense of really what that means. The university is a federal contractor. We receive federal funding, and it basically, what we think it means is that we can no longer implement our affirmative action plans. And that we are expected to kind of move back to this merit-based hiring approach. So anyway, stay tuned. We're going to try to update the campus community, as much as we can as we learn more about these developments and we receive guidance from federal agencies and the Department of Justice. So stay tuned. And then we may be changing the name of our office. It's Office of Equal Opportunity and Affirmative Action. It might just be moving to Office of Equal Opportunity and Title IX. So stay tuned on that. More to come. Also more to come on the Title IX regulations. It looks like we're moving back to what those regulations looked like in 2020. Unfortunately, there was a federal judge in Kentucky that struck down former President Biden's effort to protect transgender students. And so we're, again, trying to figure out what that means. The university can always go beyond what Title IX requires, but we're waiting for our state legislature to help us understand where our guardrails are. So we are bound by state law. So I know that's kind of a lot and pretty heavy stuff, but we will let the campus community know more as we learn alongside. So if you have questions, you can chat. You can put it in the chat, or I'll put my email in the chat too if you want to reach out privately.
Thank
you
you
for me.
so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Aaron. Any questions or comments? Okay. Thanks, Harriet. Whitney Werner from Wellness. I think she had to hop off the call, but she did say, I guess their office is getting ready to move. Most, but not all of their services will be moving to 295 Chipetta, the Williams Building in Research Park as of mid-March. And they're excited again because of, free participant parking. So if you're going there for a meeting or to work out, there will be more services available under one roof. They will continue to serve employees in Hyper, aka Peak, as well. And more details will be coming in the next WellU newsletter and on their site in WellU. So that's the word from Whitney and Wellness. Mandy, what's going on in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, I guess before I dive into events type stuff, just throwing it out there since Andrea wasn't here, I'm going to advertise our HR roundtable meeting, which is taking place in March. I just dropped the registration link. It's actually a legislative update too, so Jason Perry will be there. I think typically staff council invites Jason Perry to do something similar, so I guess if you can't attend a staff council meeting, but you can come to this one, again, I guess just multiple opportunities to kind of hear legislation updates. But yeah, please sign up, register for the webinar that I just dropped. And if you do want to sign up for our HR Roundtable newsletter, so that's kind of the one group that receives messages about these sort of meetings that we have. I want to say twice a year we have meetings like virtually, and then twice a year we send out like a newsletter. Just let me know because I can get you added to the HR Roundtable newsletter. So like if you're administration in your office, it's a good list to be on. So just wanted to plug that. Moving into event stuff, very quickly, again, I'm the broken record that will always talk about Employee Appreciation Day. We don't have an official date yet. We have tentatively held dates with the stadium. So again, historically, we always shoot for the last Thursday in September. We also have held the third Thursday just in case. Again, it's kind of dependent on the Utes football schedule. We have to work around their home games. Jake Sorensen, I see you in this meeting. That's an FYI for you, bud. I don't think I've told you guys that I've actually tentatively held some dates, but I know we're meeting at the end of this month. So, but just FYI, dates tentatively held.
The schedule was released yesterday. Did you see that, Mandy?
Oh, was it? Oh,
Yep.
no, I didn't. Oh,
Yep.
shoot.
So
No.
you should be able to be untentative from now on.
Oh, okay. That's so funny. I just emailed the stadium, was it Monday, I think? Yeah, and they didn't even mention that it would be coming out. So maybe they didn't know either. But yeah, so I'll check in with them and we'll actually get us officially scheduled then at that point. So excellent news. So yeah, I guess next meeting, I'll let everyone know when we are officially doing EAD. But my big ask for this meeting is actually for another event I plan, which is our Staff Excellence Awards. Let me drop a quick link to the website in our chat. Thanks, Jake, for dropping that schedule too. I'll take a look at that after. But yeah, coming back to Staff Excellence Awards. So again, this is our annual employee awards and recognition program. Right now, I'm actually in the process of trying to find some people from staff council, so that's all you folks here, to actually serve on each of our 4 committees. We do like to have at least one staff council rep on each of the committees. Again, if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, if I'm not hyping this up enough, this is a really cool awards program. As part of the committee member, as a staff council rep on the committee, you'll actually get to read through nominations that come in for your district. And those nominations are so fun to read. Like you just basically get an overview of like all the cool stuff that's happening across the U and the amazing employees who are actually, making it happen. Again, I read almost all 200 nominations or however many we get each year that come in. And like, it's just such a great time to go through them. And you'll actually help the district teams ultimately score all the nominations, and then you'll be able to help them also pick the final winners of the district. So it's really fun. It's a great group to join. And again, of course, you're invited to the big ceremony that I host in the fall for this particular event. So you'll get like a free lunch. Who doesn't like free food? And you'll be recognized as part of the district committee during the ceremony and all that. So if you are interested in, being the staff council rep, again, for the most part, you just have to be a part of staff council. Ideally, you'd belong to the district that you'd be a part of. So again, our 4 districts: academic and student affairs, administration, health academics, hospitals, and clinics. Yes, Ray. Yeah, Ray was a great member last year. It is, yeah, super low commitment. Again, super fun. It's very positive to see all the things that people are doing. Makes you feel like go University of Utah, basically. So, so if you're interested, send me an email. Drop a link in the chat. I'm going to put my email in the chat now. Again, I would do a call for this in the staff council newsletter, but again, it's not really open to everybody. It's more open to just staff council folks at this time. The district chairs actually pick their own committee and that stuff, but staff council needs to come from this group. So yeah, let me know if you're interested. Also, I guess to hint towards, I guess Bryant's not here, was he, Murray? No. Okay. But I will be talking to Bryant about forming the executive committee as well. So the executive committee is made up of the staff council president and a few other folks from the executive team. And again, they're actually the ones that get to select the final top 8 winners from all the district winners, the ones who actually win like a $3,700 prize. Which is always cool. Yeah. They're at 30. I mean, who doesn't want $3,700? So yes, Cody, shout out to Cody. He was my admin chair for the last 2 years. So yeah, he's a good resource if anyone has any questions about these award programs and stuff. Cody, you can still be a staff council rep if you want. I know you've done your time, but you can be a staff council rep, just throwing it out there.
Happy to help, Mandy, anytime.
I might reach out to you to be my admin staff council
rep.
I
got you. I got you.
Okay. Well, that's okay. Well, if anyone else wants to, again, I mean, Cody's had his time, but if I can't find anyone else, Cody, then I might be in touch with you. So, cool. Yeah. Other than that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, you review nominations, you come to the awards lunch. That's about it. It's fun. Let me know if you're interested.
And I just have a question, Mandy. So you're looking for staff council reps for each of the committees, but are you still also looking for a chair for the administration district who is not a staff council member?
No, I actually did find someone that came in.
You have one.
Yes,
okay,
I did. So I had my HR team help me find someone too. So between staff council and my HR team, we managed to find somebody. So yes, thank you for checking in on that, Marie.
Okay, groovy.
Cool. That's all from me.
All right. Any questions for Mandy? All right. Excellent. Solomon, Commuter Services, what's happening? Is Solomon on the call?
He is excused and didn't have any updates.
Oh, I now see that. Thank you very much. We'll learn to read. Okay, so that's it for our liaison updates. We have some time. Would anyone like to share a success or give a shout out? I will kick things off. I'd like to give Ashley a shout out for embracing the Teams webinar to try something new. We have gone through so many iterations to figure out an easy way to get people to join, but not fill up their Outlook calendar. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
And I'd like to say thank you to all of you for being so patient and kind with the numerous calendar invites, calendar cancellations, new invites, all of that. So thank you very much. I did not want to learn Teams, and now I just am embracing it with open arms. It took 9 months, but I got here. So thank you for being patient with me. I really do appreciate it.
All right. Anyone else? Okay. Well, it is 3:04. Ashley, would you like to do the needful?
All right. It is 3:04 p.m. and we need a motion to adjourn and a second.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you. And do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All right. We are meeting adjourned, or I think that's Marie's line. Sorry.
Thank you. Meeting adjourned. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Thanks all.
Bye.